everyone, and welcome once again to the Daily Dot Studio, where we talk all things good in esports in the world. I am joined today, my being Jared Wynn, by the one, the only Phantoml0rd of League of Legends fame, Twitch fame, everything fame. What all fame do you have exactly? You tell me.
I don't know. My face is a little bit famous, but
A famous face? Yeah, exactly.
it gets spammed in chat every now and
Of
then.
famous hair and League of Legends play with the one and only VoyBoy Phantoml0rd.
Thank you.
Welcome to our studio. Welcome to our set. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm doing well.
We are just thrilled to have you to talk about a new mobile MOBA, as a matter of fact, called Call of Champions. Just came out this week, as a matter of fact. Already, well, I wouldn't say selling like hotcakes, getting downloaded like hotcakes, right?
Yeah, it's a free game.
Yeah, that sounds more reasonable. It is a free game, so keep that in mind as we talk about it. A new mobile MOBA. That is an interesting idea to me. The MOBA on mobile was an interesting idea to you. How did you guys think about that when you first heard about it, actually, the mobile MOBA?
To me, I guess it was intriguing because I had never really thought it was like possible. Because like for me, it was just like, oh, I play League. I know Dota is pretty big, but that was really all I really saw. And then obviously there's tons of MOBAs coming out here and there, but nothing really like captured my interest. But yeah, I've obviously played mobile games like all the time, so the fact that I could actually get that kind of like, you know, MOBA fix on my phone, or just like whenever I'm going to random places or I'm traveling a lot doing esports stuff, that was really cool to me. And then just, yeah, you know, getting to try the game and play it, I had a good time, and yeah, I'm a believer.
Mobile games, you a Candy Crush guy? What else do you play?
No.
Yeah? Come on, be honest.
Like,
Go ahead.
And now that Hearthstone's out, I play Hearthstone. I played like Puzzles and Dragons and just like those like, you know, random like build your army kind of games.
They get less money when you buy card packs in Hearthstone on the phone.
Yeah.
Just letting you know. Just throwing it out there. What about you? What did you think about the whole idea?
Well, I'm a big mobile player. I play pretty much everything. I'm what you could consider a whale. I spend quite a bit on these games. So it was really interesting coming off of League. I was like, I would say on the sort of the cliff of being done with MOBAs. You know, I played League for 5 years. Now I'm playing Counter-Strike. Didn't really want to play it too much more. But on the phone, it's like you can play it anywhere. How is it going to be? Let me try it out. And I think it's really good. I like the experience. I like it. It's just really fast. You know, you could do it whenever you want. And yeah, I'm a believer too.
Yeah, it is a 5 minute. Well, we should clarify that. It's a very important distinction
very
as
fast.
opposed to some other games in the category. You know, I'm not going to drop any names, but there are other ones that exist and have a longer game time, like Vainglory. Just drop the name. This is a 5 minute per game. What do you guys think about the idea of like a 5 minute game in a MOBA? It's very different than like the League or Dota format. Dota 2 especially, you could have like a 3 hour game sometimes, you know.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's probably one of the best strengths about the game. I mean, even like just when you click the button to play, you're instantly in the game. There's no pausing. There's no waiting at all. There's no loading. It's like very, very, very small loading screen. I just think it's different, and I think it's something that should be welcomed by everyone for that little time that you might have waiting for, you know, getting on the subway or eating in line or something, you know, waiting to eat. And you could just play it real quick and you're done.
On the toilet, you know, wherever else.
99% of the time.
Yeah, let's just be honest. You know, we can talk about subways and waiting lines. Let's be clear. The bathroom is where you're going to be playing most of the time. In bed, when like the wife or the girlfriend is like telling you to put the damn phone away, you're like, hey, just relax. You know, it's fine. You just put the sheet over you. You maybe hide it from her.
Yeah, I've hit my face a few times with the phone.
There you go. That works too. I think we could actually show you guys the game rather than just talking about it ad infinitum. That's probably the most exciting thing we can do, is demonstrate the power of the MOBA live on stream and, of course, later on VOD if you're not watching this live. We can also do that as well. We're going to have that set up, I think, momentarily. The power of technology and human invention will have our welcome guests, Phantoml0rd and VoyBoy, demonstrate to you this very game that we have. It's in the works, I promise. As you see this, the behind me actually is footage from the game.
Hit play.
You have like 2 balls. Let's talk about the game structure actually, because you have these 2 like orbs that kind of float around the game space between the 2 bases. It's a different way to win. Okay, you win. Oh, well, hey, we're fighting now.
Yeah, so basically it's 3v3. You start the game, you spawn, and there's like these buffs which you can kind of rush towards, which is generally what you want to start with doing. Because what you can do with the buffs is go to the middle, if you can see what I'm doing here, and you can convert them into like team-wide power-ups. So there's a little bit of objective play there too. But yeah, then like the main focus of the game is getting to these orbs that you see these guys pushing, and getting a little bit of momentum. If you're staying near it, it'll push towards the enemy side, and then what happens basically is the orb allows you to start getting turret damage, and getting the turrets, obviously, like many other games, other MOBAs, that's one big objective, and that's how you kind of get those big numbers you see up there, the score line, to increase. And as you can see, like if you're seeing the bot fight, we're getting some turret damage here. We got the orb into their side, and here the people obviously are trying to defend it, so you can take a little bit of damage while getting the orb in. But if you can take the turret, you can start getting some good leads, and you're just kind of building your momentum off that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Very like fast paced.
The orb concept kind of emphasizes to me the spacing element, which reminds me of League actually, is how important spacing is, especially as you get to a higher level of play. It's like maintaining the right spacing between your opponent to keep yourself safe and to position yourself for initiation. You kind of get that same feeling of like the spacing element being really important here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of strategy that hasn't even been discovered yet in the game. That's kind of the beauty of it. It's what do you do at certain points of the game? Do you take the orb just to push it down the lane, all three of you? Do you take the center of the map and the buff control? It's really we have tested a few strategies and we haven't really figured out what's the best. But there's a lot. I mean, this is a relatively small map, but still every turn you can kind of run into anyone, and it's really hard to figure out what you want to do. But after a few weeks of playing, then we're going to start to see strategies and
we'll see the call meta,
yep,
if you will. Yeah, it seems that way. It is interesting because you have a 3 versus 3 in terms of players, and you have the 3. I guess you have 2 lanes, but then the 1/3 lane almost is the power up, you could say. Fighting over that, deciding how to split your resources. Have you gotten kind of a feel for what's best to go for? Like, do you really emphasize the power up when it comes up? Do you emphasize just pushing the orbs whenever possible?
I mean, the power up's pretty much like the first thing everyone goes for at the start, and then trying to share it, and then you kind of go for the orb. But you can win through different circumstances. You don't have to like get all the kills or get all the towers. If you have more towers than the other team, that's generally what will give you the advantage in the win.
Yeah, by the end of the 5 minutes.
Yeah, or you can, of course, kill their base first. That's, the even higher way to win. And then there's, of course, kills is the third sort of mark that will judge what the team who has the more kills will win.
With it being a 5-minute game, do you see a lot of timeouts right now? Like, do most games at high levels go to 5 minutes, or is it usually a decisive win?
I think it depends, but a lot of times you'll get like one turret or something, and then like you'll start your strategy will kind of evolve over the game. Like you start defending more, and then this guy goes for a push, and you gotta start moving towards him because you don't want to give up the turret lead that you have. So lots of back and forth, but generally people do try to play smart around like any objective leads that they might get. I think that's like the best way to win.
I actually want to talk about the control of the game because it's very different. Obviously, playing on mobile or on a tablet. What do you guys think, coming from obviously a lot of time spent playing, just a few hours spent playing League, perhaps here and there, obviously very accustomed to the mouse and keyboard setup. What do you think about controlling a MOBA platform from, with your fingers on a screen and touch? How does that work for you?
I mean, honestly, I was pretty skeptical of being able to like control my hero too, like because like on League, obviously you have to like micro, or like any other MOBA, you have to micro like perfectly, do all this stuff. But actually, the gameplay is pretty smooth. Like you don't feel like you have trouble once you get into it. Like controlling your hero. I mean, obviously you're not going to be like precision, like every single movement is like mapped out, but you can obviously like outplay people, juke around, like body block. There's a lot of options available, and I think that's what's pretty cool about it.
You feel the same?
Yeah, I'm playing on a phone, so it's even smaller than the normal user experience, which would be on like a tablet or an iPad. I like it because it's like you can scroll in and out for the POV. It's very difficult to land skill shots, but I think it's more of a difficulty curve that I kind of enjoy. So I like the options. I like being able to play on different settings.
Right, it's a shared difficulty. For all of us, it's difficult to touch the skill shot. Maybe a skill touch, is that like a thing we could catch on? Like skill, not really. Maybe, I don't know. You guys not feeling that? No,
not really.
Can't really get
Not
the
at
touch. I guess it does have some implications, like the skill touch. Maybe not, the nicest thing to have introduced to the game. Do you guys have any, specific strategies you've tried to break out, like a 3-man push on the bottom orb or something like that's worked out? You thought better than you thought or worse than you thought?
There's some different stuff. Like you can go for like a 3-man single lane push, and if the enemy team doesn't see it coming, then you can just get like a quick turret. Like they're running to get the buff or something, and then like suddenly you already have a turret, and you start playing around that turret lead, and it kind of evolves into like they were like okay, well now we just have to go for the turret or we lose. So yeah, there's some interesting options.
Do you find that the power up exists in kind of the same space that like a Dragon or Roshan would, where it's like something you're always thinking about, like in the back of your head, or it's just specific times in the game where you suddenly go for it?
I mean, it kind of goes with what I said earlier about like it hasn't really been discovered yet, the strategies. So I think people are aware of it, but it's more right now like, oh, is this up? Oh, I can kind of get it just now.
Yeah, it's
and
like
then,
convenience.
Yeah, convenience. Definitely like around TwitchCon when we start playing with our teams more, because we're going to be competing there. We're going to have some like hard strategies that we're going to be showing and seeing how they work, because it's all still new.
Yeah. Plus, you don't want to get embarrassed.
That's true.
You got to actually show your credentials. Like, surely,
Yeah,
you guys, former pros, you can beat these random people at TwitchCon, right?
Yeah.
Well, the people at TwitchCon are also people that got selected because they were like our fans, and they played it pretty well. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be close competition.
I'm sure there's a bunch of randoms. You guys take them.
Yeah,
you can guarantee, I'm sure, your victory, right?
They're probably better than us.
yeah, maybe.
It's not a hard guarantee. I was expecting more of like a firm confidence there. You gotta
Got
give me
some
some
time still to practice, so we'll
okay,
see.
yeah. Well, I expect, good. I expect to see the best strategy ever seen before in Call of Champions.
All right.
You have some room to work with there. I mean,
Yeah,
there's not a lot of
we
strategy
do.
seen yet, so
Yep.
you can have the best strategy, I think, pretty easily.
Yeah, for sure.
With a 5-minute MOBA now, we actually seen kind of a trend, I think, towards shorter games in MOBAs. We have Heroes of Storm, of course, having like 20 minutes or so. Well, it depends on the matchmaking,
Take a
but
bit.
Yeah.
Dota 2 actually kind of knocking their game time down with the new patch they had. Well, not new anymore, but it's recent enough. Do you think there's kind of a trend to have the shorter MOBA games now in general?
Might have to do with the attention span of sort of younger people nowadays and how it's getting shorter and shorter. I don't know if it has anything to do with that, but I know my attention span is a little short, and I think it also could be just the change of having MOBAs that have been long, like you said, these different games that have been out for a while. I love it. I think it fills that gap that hasn't been there before with the type of game that you can just quickly play and then set it down and be done for the day.
Yeah, because traditionally MOBA has meant an investment of like an hour or so at least. Like you had to know, okay, this league game could last half an hour, could last an hour, depending on how great or terrible my team is compared to how great or terrible my opponents are.
Yep.
So having to make that consideration. Of course, Dota 2, you have no clue how long a game could last in the past, especially. It could be anywhere from 30 minutes to a few hours. So it is very different. What do you think about the shorter trend we're seeing?
Well, I mean, for league games specifically, there's like this trend that it like kind of funneled over recently from Korea, and basically it's like, okay, if you start losing early, people just type open mid and then they just like AFK. It's pretty dumb, but yeah, you find games sometimes being done by like 10 minutes, and it's actually kind of spreading in popularity, which I think is a little silly. But yeah, I mean, when I want to play like a longer game, when I want to get some league games in, I'm kind of budging out that time. I know this could take a while, right? And I'm okay with that because that's when I want to do that. But if I'm just kind of trying to have that quick fix, then I think something like Call of Champions is definitely in the realm where I can just fill that hunger to get some gameplay in, and then be like James said, be done with it. Or you go on a losing streak and then you keep spamming games and you can't win and you just end up playing for like 3 hours. But that's probably not going to happen.
Maybe it's easier to get over your tilt if you can just get right back in after 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess if you only need one win to get over it, then you can
even play the game while you're in queue for like league, because sometimes we've been in queue for like half an hour, just waiting to get a match. So this is the type of game you could play while that's going on behind the scenes.
Damn Challenger queues, I'm
Yeah.
sure all of our viewers are also in Challenger.
Challenge.
They know exactly what that's like. Yeah, the million-person Challenger. So maybe it's all the pros over in Korea right now, boot camping, who are spreading open mid, because they can see now. All the Twitch viewers can see the open mid on Twitch. They can see the streams. It's like, wow, we should do that too. That's great.
That's exactly where it came from.
Next time I lose a game in like 10 minutes, I'm just going to call open mid, and just do it that way. You guys ever open mid? Do you, honestly?
Do I do it?
Yeah,
I don't like doing it. I mean, I usually I'm like, come on guys, we can still win this. Don't give up.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason it's like a thing there is because like people play in PC bongs a lot and they have to pay for like the time, so they don't want to like waste time playing a game that they're obviously going to lose. So that's kind of where it started out.
Here in America, we like the comebacks. We like to do it fresh like that.
Yeah.
We don't have PC bang times to worry about.
Not yet.
No. So you guys have any favorite champions? There are champions. I know that's a big distinction to make. Here are the heroes or stars or I don't know what else, like
Tunes.
people, tunes, avatars. The
Pokemon.
champions. Which Pokemon. Have you caught them all yet? Do you guys have any favorites so far?
Modus is definitely my favorite, but they kind of nerfed him hard, so
He was
I'm,
OP.
I'm feeling. Yeah, he was so broken.
Man, if we had like the developers of the game in the studio, we could ask them why they nerfed your favorite character. But I don't see any where I'm looking at, so I guess we have to just deal with it.
I think it was probably because we were boasting about like how broken he
Yeah,
was.
it was
They were
like,
just
this is the
"Oh,
most broken year
yeah."
I've ever seen. And then
Yeah.
he's like, well, we're gonna fix that.
Yeah.
But I've been enjoying this kind of demented child, Violet. She's kind of freaky. Her lore is like really demented. yeah. Yeah, like every time you use an ability, she just like screams. So it's like random. And I don't know. I just find it a little
It's like
entertaining.
remind you of something, or
No,
it's like a trigger for
no,
you?
no. I just think it's freaky.
Okay, yeah, I trust you. How about you?
I like the assassin kind of gameplay because I mean that's what I've always done for whatever other games I've played. So people like Scorch, Fang, although Fang got changed a little bit. I don't love the changes. And then Cinder, who's kind of like a long range nuke assassin. I just like being able to carry and like kill people, and just like, damn, I just one shot that guy. So that's my preferred play style.
This game just came out. These guys already firing shots to developers for changing it. Man,
yeah.
this is
Oh yeah,
harsh.
they want us to fire shots.
Yeah,
They
I
must
hope
be
they're ready.
honest.
I hope they're
Yeah.
ready for this. The pros are coming in here. Imagine the massive fans, like how they're going to react to things. It's gonna be brutal for these guys. Actually, I wanted to ask, how are the roles in the game? It's a 5-minute game. Very different game structure. The map is structured differently. I just wonder how roles even work in a 5-minute game. 3 versus 3 are there traditional like marksman, ADC, whatever you want to call it, support. Not a jungle in the game, obviously. How does that structure for you?
I think there's like 3 main, like tank, healer, and then you kind of have the damage classes.
Support, assassin.
Yeah. And there's kind of subcategories between those as well. You don't see many people using the tank classes, but when they do and they have a real solid team, they can just win the game within like a minute, like really, really fast. So that's the kind of stuff that we'd see every now and then. Of course, if you climb the rank ladder, you'd see those strategies. But I think like most people are just picking DPS and just trying out the characters and seeing. But when you have like a healer with a tank and you have a DPS in the back, like a real actual 3 squad strategy, it's pretty strong, and you can't really beat it with just 3 DPS characters against them. So, yeah, I mean, I haven't really tested out too much of it, but I know when I'm playing like a tank character, you can just push down the lane and actually have a different type of game than just playing around and killing people all
Is
the
that
time.
because the tank can just like hug the orb and ride it all the way down with healing support, or like why is a good tank can really function that
More
way?
like CC, and then you could take a lot of damage and,
Okay.
and stun, and then sort of soak up the damage from the tower while everyone else is just blowing up the tower and getting it down as fast as you can. Because sometimes it's not about like killing the other players around the tower; it's just like getting the tower down and just dying, or even getting it super low and then coming back and then trying to kill it. There's all these strategies you can do.
Yeah, I think a lot of the strategies are still, kind of being figured out. I mean, the game just got launched like this week for like a mass audience. So as more people start playing, like the games are like you can just get into the game instantly. I think people will just kind of go grind out matches, like figure out what they like to run, and start queuing with their friends and stuff, and be like, okay, let's run this, and this. And yeah, I definitely think there's gonna be like by TwitchCon or obviously beyond that, we can probably figure out some good stuff. But yeah, the reason that like tanks can be really crazy is because like when you're pushing an orb into a turret, there's gonna be people fighting the champions, there's gonna be people fighting the turret, because the turret, if you can get turrets down, that's like your main objective to win the game. And people who have like hard CC and stuff that can actually disrupt you while you're going for turret and like make you take extra turret shots and stuff, I think that's pretty strong. So yeah, supports and tanks when used like together, they both have a lot of CC, and the support can keep the tank alive. And obviously there's some assassins that can destroy them anyway, but I think as we start to see more people play and figure out those like good team comps and stuff, I think some really solid strategies might develop from that.
I think it's kind of beautiful that the game is just brand new now. People might not understand this, but with like all the previous games that we've played and seen gone pro, or as an esport, the meta sort of is so brand new that no one knows anything. There's a beauty in it, and then after some time, it sort of develops into all this hardcore number crunching people that know everything, and then you kind of, you pick this, we're gonna lose type of gameplay.
People forget the season 1 meta in League, for example, very different than what we have these days. Just a tiny bit, not quite the archetype we have nowadays. What are the differences you guys see between like just a random player game and like the high levels of ranked as it already exists in the game? Like, is it just people that, because again, the structure of the game is very different with the orbs moving. Is people who pay more attention to the orbs or just have more structure in the flow of objectives? Like, what is the difference there?
So when we play like 3v3s like in-house or like with the devs or just me versus James, it's like our teams and stuff, it's definitely a lot more competitive. When we go up into like normal queues and play against people who might not have as much experience or knowledge about the game, then it's like, okay, we're obviously better than these guys. But when we get into like those high level matches, you can just like people respond really well. Everything, people are landing their spells. People know what the other heroes are capable of, and I think that's kind of the game knowledge that exists in other MOBAs. You kind of have to get to a certain threshold to be able to compete at like a high level. Otherwise, if you don't know what the hero is about to do that you're fighting, it's like you're probably not going to be able to win.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a bit of a you can already see the skill cap even though it's like pretty brand new.
Good rotations would make Monte Cristo proud.
Yeah,
You think?
the OGN Monte Cristo rotations.
Yeah, the guy who would criticize. Oh God, you shouldn't go too far into that. Anyway, I have to ask you, Phantoml0rd, do you see any gambling prospects for Call of Champions?
Interesting question. I mean, skins are sort of a market now that everyone loves, and it can be in any kind of game. You can have like a Hello Kitty game with a different skin, and people will
Probably
go crazy.
do actually. We
I'm
that,
sure there's a game out there that exists. And I mean, if it had any kind of like case opening there, I'd play it. But I don't think they're there yet with that kind of system. I know that they're looking into it a little bit, not like gambling, but like the different skins.
To be clear,
yeah. The skins and all the different custom looks that they can have on these characters. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Or they're going to show us some of those today, actually, so we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, these are the earliest days. This is the ground floor of this new mobile MOBA. It's a very interesting concept and a very interesting thing to talk about. I'm glad that we had you guys come in here. I have to ask you though before we shut out here. We have Worlds coming up. I'm not sure if you're aware of that actually. That Worlds, for League of Legends is coming up. I assume you guys both have CLG winning it all.
Yeah, totally. Faith Age, man. Let's do it.
Is that correct? I mean, the decent group draw, right?
Yeah, they get pretty lucky.
As long as they don't lose to Pain twice or something like that,
Yeah.
Should be okay. Who are your Worlds picks? Look at the finals. Give me the prediction. Put you on the spot. This is it.
I'm gonna go with CLG number 1.
Wow. Bold.
Pain number 2.
Okay.
And TSM number 3.
Wow. This is I would bet behind you every day of the week.
Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent predictions.
I'll just say the same for me. I haven't been following too much, but CLG and TSM, a lot of my friends are there, so I have room for them.
Maybe put TSM ahead of Pain then.
Yeah, of course.
So CLG over TSM in the final.
Fair weather fan.
There's my boy. TSM first, CLG second, and then
wow.
behind
So
them.
bold predictions here. CLG and TSM in the finals of Worlds. Keep that in mind as you begin watching.
Have faith.
Yes, have faith.
The
Have
comeback
faith
of
in
it.
Yes, the comeback. That would be a hell of a comeback if the finals was all in North American at Worlds. I look forward to watching that happen because it's going to happen. We're gonna see.
Totally. TSM got a great group. They're good.
Yeah, they're fine. I don't see any problems for TSM group. Just like CLGs, just as lucky. Always lucky if you're NA. Thanks again to Phantoml0rd and VoyBoy for joining us in the studio to show off this new mobile MOBA, Call of Champions. Looks interesting to me. It's available right now if you want to check it out. And thanks to you for watching. You can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/dailydot. And of course, Facebook and Twitter at @esports.